For more on the mood in the United States, we can speak to Cheryl Ann Bolden, artist and curator at the Museum Precious Cargo. Thank you very much for joining us here on France 24. Now, what happened to George Floyd last week is not a one-off. Do you think that these protests have taken on a more violent element because people are simply just fed up of going unheard?
I don't know if they've taken on a more violent. I think there's other people, we have anarchists and other people have other agendas. I think that it's always when you have a manifestation, you're going to have problems. But I think that, no, there's something else is going on. I think there's a lot of infiltration. I think it might even be government. They're putting people in there to cause trouble.
Because the U.S. president, the U.S. president last week, he responded to the looting on Twitter when he said, when the looting starts, the shooting starts. Do you think he's inciting this violence?
Of course, but for me, I don't even know why we're even listening to the president. This is what he wants. I've said in my last interview, he wants a race riot. He wants, because all this open carry, all this idea of the Wild Wild West, people carrying guns, of course, that's what he wants. And I'm sure that within these organizations that are positive, who are trying to do really good things, they're put people in the middle to cause problems and to make violence, to show that, okay, you know, these people are crazy. We can't do anything because they're not really being human. So I think that there's some planning that's going on. I think people have to be careful. Someone just said, just because your enemy is not your friend.
You know, last week the United States had a tough week. It began with Amy Cooper, a woman in Central Park who was walking her dog and was told by a man, a black man, who asked her to put her dog on a leash. She then goes on to hysterically call the police, saying her life was being threatened. It wasn't. Is racism in America more prevalent than we all think? So much so that a white woman cannot handle the thought of a black man telling her what to do.
This is so common. I mean, this is the fact that she did it so brazenly, the fact that she understood what to say. It's a laid out plan. They've been doing this, I mean, for a long time. With the situation, this idea of white women protecting white womanhood, this idea that all black men want to rape white women, that's been going on forever. Oh yeah, no, she knew exactly what to do. In fact, I'm not against prison. So I think she should go to jail. I think she lied. She lost her job. I know that this gentleman said that he forgave her, and that's good. But basically, even the dog, the way she was treating the dog is not funny. But I mean, she lost her dog. She lost her job. I think she should go to jail because she lied. And I think that she needs to be made an example out of, that you just can't do that and get away with it.
I want to ask you something, because now you said we have a president in the White House who's inciting this sort of behavior from people. But, you know, not that long ago, we did have a black president. We had Barack Obama, who was the U.S. president. But that didn't seem to change anything at all, because the system is still very much intact.
Well, he's not Jesus Christ. Why is it that this idea that because a black man is supposed to solve all the problems? This is part of the foundation of the United States. It's part of the problem of the country. You can't just have somebody for 8 years who's going to solve our problems. This is a very deep and profound problem. And you see what's going on. Now people are getting to understand it's not just a black and brown problem. It's a problem for everyone. It's a national problem. So just because I really get annoyed, not you, but I get annoyed when people say, oh, you have a black president and you had rich black people. No, it's very profound. This is a very deep spiritual. For me, it's blood on the land. For me, it's something that's really, really deep and profound, and it's going to take a lot of work and to solve these problems.
Cheryl Ann, final question. Do you think anything's going to fundamentally change now with these protests which we are seeing, given that, as you were saying, there's some elements that have infiltrated the movement?
Yes, I think we're going to have some change. I think people are getting afraid. I think white folks are starting to get afraid. It's going to start being on their properties now. I think we need to take this seriously. The groups, Black Lives Matter, they need to have people working with them to watch that other people aren't doing violent actions. There has to be some kind of other infiltration to counterbalance the violence of people who are doing things they shouldn't do. So yeah, I think there's going to be a change. They have to take this a little bit more serious now. This is not a game. This is becoming, for me, it's kind of like genocide. And so now we really have to take it seriously and work with the police. All police aren't criminals, but the very fact that they let these police get away with murder is a problem. And now they see you just can't do that anymore. People are fed up.
Indeed. Cheryl Ann Bolden, thank you very much for joining us on the program. I wish it was under
peace and love and health,
better circumstances. Thank you.
It'll be fine. The virus is also exacerbating the situation, but I think it's a very interesting time for us to reflect on certain things internationally.
Indeed. Thank you very much.